What is up, my fellow degenerates? The season is almost over, and I hope you did not miss these championship weekend games. They were some bangers. So, today we're going to give an overview of these games, some breakdowns, talking about the players, all the good stuff that happened, talking about the not so good stuff as well. The shittiest part about the NFL, the referees. I guess Kansas City paid them off once again. The only reason they're going to the Super Bowl. That's at least what I'm reading out there. So, yeah, I'll talk about some of those calls. Anyways, after that, we're going into a coaching hire review around the league. Yes, it's that time of season. New head coaches, new excitement, some promising for the future of these dog shit blasted franchises. So you can get excited, you can get your hopes up. You're a Jags fan, you're a Jets fan, you're a Bears fan, and these hires are here to fix your team. And I'm here to tell you why they most likely won't. But yeah, I'll go over who the new head coaches are, what we think, who we like, who we don't like. I kind of already told you that, but I'll give you a tier list on the hires, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's what today's video's got. If you got any questions, comments, that kind of stuff, send me a message, a comment. If you want to weigh in the games, the hires, anything, feel free to do so. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace.
In audio.
All right, guys, we wrapped up AFC and NFC championship weekend, and it was a wild weekend. I mean, we did some great games. There's like 150 points scored between all the teams. Um, some exciting outcomes, in my opinion. But yeah, it was another great weekend of football, second to last weekend of football. So sad to see it go, but it delivered, and that's exactly what we were hoping for. So yeah, first game, obviously Eagles Commanders NFC Championship, and I mean, all we got to say about this game is fucking Saquon Barkley. Good lord. First drive by the Commanders, it was promising. I think it looked good. They had I think it was like 13 plays, 8 minutes, something in that range. They drove down. They had a couple of fourth down conversions. Excuse me. Oh, but yeah, it was exciting to see in the offense. They eventually kicked the field goal. I know some people were disappointed about the field goal, but you're on the road. You're the underdog. I think it's nice to get some points on the board first and see a lead there. Um, and then the Eagles get the ball first play. Saquon Barkley, boom, 60-yard touchdown, and it was pretty much game over for there. I mean, the Eagles I put up 230 rushing yards. They had seven rushing touchdowns, which is fucking wild. I mean, so many records this game, so many rushing touchdowns scored, points scored, all that stuff. So, yeah, great game by the Eagles. But yeah, I'll say shout out to the Commanders making it this far. At this point, I think they're just kind of playing with house money. So, I mean, there's no way you went into the season as a Commanders fucking team thinking that like this was a likely outcome. I'm sure you hoped it was an outcome, but yeah. So, yeah, Jaden had a rough game. He had some bad throws, definitely the worst throws of the playoffs by far for him. He wasn't very composed out there compared to the past couple weeks in the playoffs. That being said, it's the Eagles. The Eagles are legit. They're really good defense. So it's okay that Jaden looked like that. I'm not worried. There's no reason to panic about this. This is just super exciting and promising. Some other good stuff coming out of this game is all the Dan Snyder news. Everyone wants to know what his thoughts are, all that stuff. We had an article in ESPN talking about how people close to Dan Snyder are saying how he fucking hates seeing how good the Commanders are doing and how it's unfair and how he should have never had to sold the team and all that stuff. So fuck Dan Snyder. We love seeing that he is kind of throwing a hissy fit baby rage over there about the team doing so well as soon as he's out of there. And then on the Eagles side of things, they had obviously a great fucking game. Hurts had one of his better passing games. So we like to see that in the Super Bowl. It's definitely going to need to be the Jalen Hurts that we see. I can't see them getting a win if Hurts only throws for 50 yards or 100 yards, unless Saquon has 400 yards, which is very possible. But Yeah, so he'll need to be on point for the Super Bowl. Some of the Eagles players got a little bit banged up this week, so I think most of them are going to be okay. Obviously, Hurts will be fine. He had his knee banged up. That's nothing new. Saquon was kind of nursing his lower body. So, yeah, I'm not too worried for anyone. The week off will be nice. So, hopefully, they're at full strength. I know Brandon Graham's trying to make a comeback, I guess. He tore his triceps earlier in the year. So, we'll see if he gets there. If you remember, he had the fucking amazing play years and years ago in the Super Bowl versus the Patriots with the sack strip to seal the win. So he can make another key play, dashing Mahomes' hopes and dreams. So, um, yeah, let's go over to the AFC. We have the Bills and the Chiefs over here. Honestly, this game was like this game fucking delivered. This is kind of what we hoped for. I mean, I would have liked some overtime just to get even more drama in. But yeah, it was a close game. So not too much back and forth, but Chiefs kind of looked good from the get-go. Both Mahomes and Allen just rushing all over the field. Mahomes with the two rushing TDs. Never would have expected that. Love to see it though. So, yeah, I mean the big the big storyline from this game is all the controversy, right? On all these calls, the refs, the fucking Kansas City refs. So, I mean, the first big call, probably the worthy catch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This looked like a weird call in the field. The replay didn't really clarify it much more. To be, it was from my opinion was like on the field. I was like, all right, I guess Worthy wrestled away and caught the ball. Kind of looked like a pick, and then on the replay, it almost looked like it might have been a fucking drop. So that being said, it was so hard to tell, and I think it was too inconclusive, I guess, to turn it over. Um, I mean, that's what the rule is. It needs to be inconclusive evidence, which means it's got to be like 100% true instead of being like oh, maybe it wasn't actually a catch. It's got to be like, nope, cut and dry. So, yeah, that was that one. And then the fourth down call with the Bills rushing play with Josh not getting over the line of scrimmage to get the first down. One of the line judges signaled Josh as a first down. The other one said, nope, he was short on the field. They went with the short call, turnover on downs. And then on the replay, they still said it was a turnover on downs. He was short. If you know on the broadcast, Gene Steratore, he said he thinks that they got it. Yeah, so I think a couple takeaways from this was I don't know why the fucking NFL doesn't have a camera on these short line plays just like above the line of scrimmage. Like they have sky cams, they have cameras above the field. Very easy to get a camera right there so they can tell did he get over or not. Every screen cap you're seeing posted on Twitter, on social media, it's from the side camera, which is behind a little bit, or the one from behind the play, also behind the play. Like you can't fucking tell when you're behind the plane if you got over a straight line in the other direction. Like makes no sense. So yeah, I mean, it would just make it so much easier. Top down camera. Did he get it or not? It's just straightforward. The refs, obviously, you can't blame the refs on the field. One of them was on one side, one's on the other. It's so hard in real time to make a call like that. Football obviously is a very fast sport, but you don't really capture that when you're just watching it on TV. But like making the call in real time, so hard. So yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe he got it, maybe he didn't. They ruled he didn't get it, but as a Bills fan, I'd be pretty pissed about this play calling too. Everyone's just saying like it's the Bills tush push, whatever, whatever, whatever. It is not the Bills tush push, or it is. It's nothing like the Eagles tush push. I think it's just everyone wants to call everything a tush push because the Eagles do it and they're fucking amazing at it. But there's so many little things on the Eagles that go into the tush push that make it is what it is. So first off, Josh Allen is not Jalen Hurts. I like to shit on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is amazing at the tush push. I mean, he's a little bit shorter than Josh, lower center of gravity. Jalen Hurts also squats over 600 pounds. Huge number there. Astronomical number. Josh does not. So that drive there, huge. Eagles O line is also amazing. And then the big part too is the pushing part. We don't really see James Cook up Josh's ass shoving him. Barkley gets in there. He's deep up in Jalen Hurts, getting him across the line. So that's a key component. Some of these tush pushes by the Bills, kind of Josh snaps the ball and tries to pick which hole to go to. It's not like a brute force thing. Sometimes it is, but yeah. So if I'm a Bills fan, I'm kind of pissed at the coaches trying to do this thing. Josh has been proven to be a great like RPO guy, thinking on the run, deciding last minute, open field. He makes moves. So I don't know why they're doing this. But anyways, later in the game, we have that fourth down throw, 4th and 5. Uh, we didn't know if they were going to go for it. So Tony Romo, thank you for telling us that they were going to go for it. Never thought they would have gone for it without you letting us know. Appreciate it, Tony. Yeah, I think this throw got overlooked. This was one of the most insane throws I think I've ever seen in football in a game. I mean, great play call by Spags, big rush, getting to Josh immediately. The blocking scheme absolutely fucked. So Josh is hightailing it out of there from the get go. He's just running back, just trying to get away. Just jumps up, fucking back foot, heaves the ball down the field into a pile of defenders. And all the defenders fucking just miss the ball. None of them touch it. And who's there? Dalton Kincaid. Oh my God, this is a fucking obviously not as good. Kind of reminded me of the Julian Edelman catch of like in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. Just like, no way this is gonna happen. And Dalton Kincaid fucking sucks, dude. So he didn't catch it, hits him in the arms. I guess Josh should have, I don't know, it hit him in the other appendage that you catch the ball with. So devastating finish there. Yeah, very unfortunate for Josh. He's just so sad in all the media. So it's hard to see, man. Josh, very likable player. So yeah, but tough loss. So congrats to the Chiefs for pulling it out. I mean, it's just the fucking boogeyman to the Bills and Allen until we see otherwise. Just assume that's the norm. That being said, we get a Super Bowl rematch from a few years ago, Eagles versus Chiefs. That's Dan versus me. So, yeah, it's going to be a great time. Lots of media will be coming. So, yeah, super pumped about AFC Championship weekend. Games highly delivered. We like to see it. So, moving on, I'm going to also touch on some head coach hires around the league right now. So far, we've had 6 new coaches being hired. First off, I'm going to get into Ben Johnson of the Bears. He was hired. He was the former offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. I think this is one of the better hires. Obviously, Ben Johnson, amazing work in Detroit. Great, looks great. So I like that for the Bears. That being said, I am a little bit wary about this hire. He's one of the new OC gurus that everyone ever since Sean McVay take over. I mean, even in the past too, with other just these OC gurus getting promoted to be head coaches and they just flop immensely. So first off, I hate the term guru. It's you're a football coach. You're not a fucking guru. Um, yeah, I think this is going to be a hard transition. In Detroit, Ben Johnson had some of the best personnel in the league. I mean, their skill position players absolutely fucking bonkers, right? Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, fucking Jameson Williams finally stepped into his own this year. Like one of the best deep threats in the league. Jared Goff, nothing to scoff at. I mean, he's not like the elitist of quarterbacks, but like he's a great quarterback. And then their offensive line is just absolutely star-studded, one of the best lines in the league. So yeah, um, he drew up some great plays for that team. Do I think I or you could have drew up some great plays for that team? I think so. I think you could also have drawn up some better plays than we saw fucking Jameson Williams throwing a pick against the Commanders in the fucking playoffs in a kind of do or die situation. So yeah, we'll see what Ben Johnson looks like here. Just to kind of drive home the point of the offense there versus in the Bears. I mean, last year Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times. That's 4 times a game, every single game of the year. I mean, Jared Goff got sacked 31 times. So huge difference in the team. Yeah, the Bears don't have a fucking O line. So that's a big problem. It's going to be hard to draw up plays with Caleb and DJ Moore and Rome and Keenan and all the talent they have there when they don't have a line. I mean, that's what we saw this past year. So, yeah, I like the hire for the Bears. I don't know if it's going to be as exciting as everyone thinks it will be. Moving on to the Patriots, my favorite hire of the offseason, big Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, absolute dog. Yeah, just in the Patriots Hall of Fame. I think he had a great stint when he was in Tennessee. Obviously, he got dealt a very shit hand in terms of the personnel he was given each and every year. He still made the best of it, making the playoffs, winning playoff games as a coach. They moved on. They've looked like shit ever since. So, yeah, I mean, Vrabel, I think, is going to be a big culture guy. No questions asked there. A thing I really like about Vrabel is he's already hired all of his coaching staff just about. Josh McDaniels, say what you want about him as a head coach. He was a great offensive coordinator working with Brady over the years. A lot of good work. Hopefully he can do that with Drake May as well. A lot of experience in the league. Um, Another big hire there is Doug Marrone. He's going to be a coach on the offense. Obviously, he was kind of a shitty head coach, but he did take that Jaguars team to an AFC championship game against the Patriots. They should have won. He's just a positional coach, but he's more experienced. Moving over to the defensive side of the thing, we have Tyrell Williams being the uh, defensive coordinator. He's worked with Vrabel before. He's been working with the Lions as well. Yeah, just a lot of experience with these guys, and that's the difference between this and last year. I mean, Mayo was apparently the heir apparent according to reports, but I mean, dude's got like no coaching experience. All the other coaches they hired were just kind of like promotions from guys on the team. And I know in idea that sounds great is like rising from within the organization. But when you have a bunch of people with no experience at that level, it's just a fucking disaster. And that's what we saw at the Patriots this year. So, um, yeah, exciting hire for the team. I like a lot of it being hashed out already. So I think it's very promising. Good job by the Patriots and looking forward to see what they look like in the future, um, especially post NFL draft. Um, Moving on, staying in the AFC, we got the Jaguars with Liam Cohn. And this guy's a fucking goober. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's just very awkward first day interviews. Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame him becoming an NFL coach, head coach, life-changing moment, and I imagine it's very overwhelming. But you're supposed to be like the commander of the team, the leader of the men, and you just come in and you look like an absolute goofball. So we'll see what that looks like in the team. That being said, I mean, the whole hiring process of Liam Cohn was a disaster, right? For those of you that didn't follow it, as he interviewed with the team, with the ownership, and then he said, "You're keeping your GM. Like I'm gone. I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you guys." He talks to Tampa Bay. They're ready to make him one of the highest paid offensive coordinators in the league. So he's like, "All right, sweet deal." Jaguars fired Trent Baalke, the GM, which they should have done ages ago. Other people turned down interviews with the team solely because of him. Ben Johnson, there was reports that he had zero interest in the team because of Trent Baalke remaining there. So first off, terrible move by them. But then they fire him and they're begging at fucking Liam Cohen, please come back, please come back. And Liam says, "Fuck it, all right, let's do this thing." So yeah, he signs. He's the head coach there. His last like other big stint in the NFL, he's OC for the Rams in 2020. 2022, it was the year after they won the Super Bowl. Terrible year for the Rams. Tough year. I think they went like 2-10 to finish the end of the season. So rough go for them. He's been all over college for the most part. And obviously, the Buccaneers played great this year. They exceeded expectations. That being said, I don't know how much of this is due to Liam Cohn. Last year, the Buccaneers were still really good. This year, what happened? They kept most of their offense. Baker stayed healthy. Mike Evans played amazing. They got Bucky Irving, who looks like one of the best running backs in the league. And other than that, they stayed pretty much the same for the most part. They looked better this year. I don't really know how much of that is Liam Cohn's job, though. Obviously, he's the offensive coordinator. Um, I don't know if he's like a huge part of it. So, yeah, I mean, Dave Canales looked good there. He left, and now he looks like shit. That being said, it's with the Panthers who are shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Liam Cohn is a big part of the credit pie for the Buccaneers this year. So, um, we'll see how he works out, but it's the Jaguars. It's another dog shit organization, so I don't have very high hopes for him. Moving over to the West Coast, we have the Raiders hiring Pete Carroll. This was a big surprise. Pete Carroll's about to be 74, which is the oldest head coach has ever been in the NFL. That being said, Pete's kind of an anomaly. He's in very good shape. Obviously, everyone remembers him just stripping down, taking his shirt off, flexing with DK Metcalf. So I don't think he's like some of these other older coaches that are should be worrying about their health as much. So yeah, Pete's old. Pete's a great head coach. He's been around the game for fucking ever. I mean, he's the oldest. So yeah, it makes sense. So I think Pete will be here for quite a few years, hopefully. And I think this team has zero identity right now, right? They had McDaniels on the big deal there. He total flopped. They fired him. Antonio Pierce came in as the interim coach, kind of be like a little bit of a bad boy, as always has been his rap ever since those Plaxico Burress days. Shout out. Um, but yeah, this team needs an identity and they don't have a fucking quarterback. So I think hiring Pete, who's a big like culture guy, big fun guy, this could be a good solution. Obviously, you want to hire a head coach and have the head coach there for 20 years. That's not realistic though. So I don't really mind this. I don't think this is any riskier of a timeline than say the Jaguars hiring Liam Cohn. So we like that. They obviously need to find a QB to fix their biggest problems. We'll see how that looks. One of the good things with this team right now is apparently Tom Brady, part owner of the team. If you didn't know, he's played a part in the hiring process, and he's doing a lot of kind of like recruiting and talking in the media and with people behind the scenes. So that's obviously great for the team. Tom Brady, total fucking football nerd, enthusiast, whatever. So having him involved is going to be great for the team in the long run. Um, moving on, the next hire, I really like this hire, is Aaron Glenn to the Jets, defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions. Um, he was in the league as a cornerback for quite some time. Um, Pro Bowl selections, he was great. Defensive backs coach all over the league before becoming the OC of the Lions. Um, I don't think he gets enough credit for this season. I mean, the Detroit Lions defense was they got shit on in the playoffs. Yes, they did. That being said, there was 5 turnovers by the offense. So it's hard to that's hard to overcome. So but yeah, they had so many injuries this year right from the get-go with Hutchinson. So I think given that situation of all the injuries to the starters throughout the defense throughout the year, amazing job by Aaron Glenn, like really overcoming adversity there. We like to see it. That being said, I hate this landing spot for him. The Jets, uh, terrible organization. I mean, Woody Johnson asks his fucking nephews for players who he should trade for based on their fucking Madden ratings. So, yeah, dumbass organization. Aaron Rodgers experience, total failure. You can scratch out the first year to the injury thing, but this whole last year, terrible. I don't know what it's looking like going forward. Aaron Glenn's already been asked about it, and he was like, I don't know, but I got to find out ASAP and talk to Aaron. So, thankfully, Aaron Glenn seems like a no nonsense guy, so I'm sure he'll talk to Rodgers very soon and it won't put up with his bullshit because I think that's going to be key for this team going forward. I don't know what their ideal quarterback situation is. Maybe bring someone in free agency, but I can't imagine they pay Sam Darnold. Like, what a simulation we live in with that. If that's what happens, if they end up paying Darnold fucking $50 million to be their quarterback, fucking 7 years later after drafting him. So, yep. And then the final head coach hiring we're going to touch on is the Cowboys with Brian Schottenheimer. And I don't know what the fuck this hire is. Just total disaster down in Jerry World, written all over it. So, I mean, the team, they fired Mike McCarthy, let him go, whatever. This came to a from an indecision on how many years they wanted to extend him in the contract. Apparently, he wanted like 4 years or something. Jerry wasn't willing to budge. Meanwhile, fucking Brian Schottenheimer, I think they gave him 3, 4 they gave him, like, the same thing pretty much, so it makes no sense to me. Um, yeah, so they just fired him from within. He's the OC from last year. I mean, his dad, Marty Schottenheimer, was a great coach in the regular season for the Chargers, but literally got fired because he couldn't win a fucking playoff game, so yeah, I don't know. Jerry has said the worst things in the media about this guy. I think he's trying to say some good things. I think the first thing was, I mean, I'm gonna butcher these quotes what they were, but he was like, Brian is a career assistant. He is no longer known as Brian. He is now known as the Cowboys head coach. Like, I don't know what that means. It's just that's not a very enticing endorsement from the owner. And then he followed it up with the next day saying that this is as big of a risk as you can take as an NFL owner. So I don't know, dude. If I'm Brian Schottenheimer, I am just like, dude, fuck Jerry. I don't know what I've gotten myself into. So best of luck to him because he's gonna fucking eat it down there. So, but yeah, I'll just go over a quick ranking of what the order of I like these hires on. So Vrabel, obviously number one. Ben Johnson, I'm wary about, but he's second in my list of the hires. Third, I'm going to go with Pete Carroll and the Raiders. Fourth, Aaron Glenn. I would love to put Aaron Glenn higher. Wouldn't be surprised if he's the best coaching hire, but the Jets situation is just so bad. Um, Liam Cohn's next at five. I don't know. He's not doing it for me. I wish him luck down there. And then Brian Schottenheimer rounding it up as the worst hire. This one is not debatable. Um, that being said, all these guys to all these teams outside of the Patriots, fucking bum ass franchises. I mean, it seems like these are the same teams that are hiring a head coach every couple years. So that's just why I have no faith in them. I mean, they're all fucking coaching carousels. So yeah, we'll see what it unfolds like. The hype will be there for pretty much most of these coaches to completely flip things around. So don't get too invested in the early news you see. But that's what I got so far for this week. Next week, I'll be posting about the Super Bowl, some preview stuff, maybe reacting to some of the media out there. Super Bowl week, the media row week is fucking hilarious. There's way too many people involved in the Super Bowl that shouldn't be. So there's a lot of dumb shit that's going to come out. So yeah, it's a good time. But that's all I got for today. So I will see you then. Have a good week. Peace.